especially as they play against the worst team in the league, the 0-4 team in the league. Wales can probably cook a little bit more in this matchup.
Are you suggesting, your way, that we should let them cook?
Absolutely.
Beautiful. I like it. Team Wales already trying to just cook a little bit, cook some damage up onto slows.
Homid
I think we'll
Cyan.
just be able... Is that actually... Oh my god.
Yeah, we've
I don't
already
know
been
if
in the
I should like
kitchen.
that,
I think we've dipped into the kitchen already for a bit for Nagia here as the Comet Cyan is coming in. So it does make sense.
I have a theory.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think we're going to see insane aggression from Team Wales. I think we're going to see the Team Wales of 2022, particularly from Killer Queen. Do you want to know why I think that, though? Or can you guess why I think that?
An Adam incident? No.
An Adam incident?
Oh, you haven't watched LEC? Oh no, Milky.
What's happened?
Okay, you need to watch that game. Let's see if it happens again. So, in LEC, this happened over in LEC in week 1, where Adam played Cyan and didn't actually go into lane. He leashed the first 3 camps for his jungler in the bottom quadrant of the enemy's jungle, and then they dove bot lane. It went horribly wrong for them because the Cyan got interrupted when he tried to teleport back into lane. The idea is still pretty solid though, but you can see MBE instantly, they have watched the tape, they know what's up. They put a ward down here to defend, and they are now fully aware of this dive coming in. Killer Queen is going to hit level 3 of these minions if he gets all of them. Yeah, there he is. But they can't get the kills on the dive, or can they?
And it does mean that Slows has no CS at all. And when you're playing Lucian with a Lucian Nami, you want to be trying to get this early lead. And Nagira and Killer Queen are just preventing the bot lane duo of Box Esports from approaching this wave.
Okay. We need to clear something up. Lucian Nami into Varus Ashe is not a winning lane. It is not.
No, it's not a winning lane, but it's the idea of a Lucian Nami.
No, you do not get an early advantage on Lucian Nami into Ashe. Like this is like something that a lot of people are still saying, which has not been true for like half a year now. Lucian Nami is more of a mid-game comp. They are not actually that amazing, especially level 1, level 2. They get better level 3, but especially into Ashe Varus, they will never win lane. So this is, of course, this is still a really bad situation, but it's not like Lucian Nami needs to be ahead level 1. On the other hand, the Cyan has 3 CS in the top side, so let's see how Cyan can actually deal with this disadvantage now. Usually, Cyan doesn't really care too much, but into Na, I could actually see Sunma trying to play aggressively and using his hyperprocs to really chase down Nagia and make his life a living hell. But this is, speaking of living hell, yikes.
Well, Zodiac and Slows have been able to get under their tower, but it has cost them a fair amount of resources. Heal had to be used as well for Zodiac, and Killer Queen is still hovering around. He is not leaving this bottom lane. Zodiac chunked precariously low, and Killer Queen is starting to make his approach. Tom Rio is here as well. Will get spotted out by Killer Queen, and Killer Queen himself has been spotted as he drops down a ward, and Tom Rio drops down a ward of his own. Surely Box Esports can't look for an engage. The bot lane duo is just too low.
Yeah, it's a good defensive move though from Tom Rio. If you look at the oh no, come on Killer Queen, leave them alone, please. Stop bullying them. Go into your jungle and farm. No, the mid lane is coming too. Look at Glory. Glory's moving down.
Well, Glory's coming down, and we're looking at a glorious start to the game for Team Wales. We said that Team Wales were cooking something up, and it might be destruction in the bottom lane. In goes Killer Queen looking for first. Slows will fall. CBL stays alive. 2 kills for Team Wales. And Tom Rio is left to run with his tail between his legs.
Oh, it's the horror show, Milky. What did we just watch? Imagine being this bot lane from the side of MBE. How bad do you feel? How hard are you flaming all your teammates? My god. He has 7 CS, Milky. He has 7 CS to 39.
Do you know what the saddest thing about all of this is? The fact that Glory is now 2-0 and has a CS lead over Nugu.
And I wanted to... we don't actually get to talk... But we saw the dive. We don't need to talk about the dive because there was nothing for them to do. But look at the map right now. Tom Rio had to adapt his jungle pathing to the most awkward pathing I've ever seen. So he knows the bot side is quadrant is taken, right? So he goes into the top quadrant of the enemy jungle and only takes the red buff because Of course, he wanted to counter jungle all those camps, but the bot lane is screaming for him to cover, so he runs into the enemy jungle, clears their red buff, and then goes to his own bot lane without taking any other camp, arrives there at 17 CS. That's one of the most... that is such a horrible feeling, such a horrible path to take, to have to take, for Tom Rio to defend his bot lane, and then it still backfires because your mid lane is AFK and Lowy just runs into bot lane too. This game has to feel so unbelievably bad to play for the side of Tom Rio, Slows, and Zodiac, because honestly they did everything in their power to prevent this from happening. Sure, there were some missteps in terms of getting poked down a little bit too much, especially Zodiac walking up and having to flash away from Vid's Q earlier on, but they tried in the macro sense to prevent this from happening. They sent their jungler there to prevent the dive, but they still walk away, getting dived on, 3 platings down in the early game, almost a 3k gold lead at 6 minutes.
I'm laughing, but this is just so incredibly cruel.
It's
Both
so
Glory
sad.
and Vit have a 1k goal lead. You know what this is, Your Way? I think the teams heard us talking about Vit's CS difference, and they said, right, we're changing that. We're going to get it from minus 9.8 to about minus 5 in 2 games.
No. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for this team. So, obviously, we talked about this before. Obviously, they didn't get into this league organically.
Oh, Nagia.
They didn't qualify. Nagia, please don't. Come on, Nagia. Let them play the game for 2 seconds.
Attention, all passengers in Nagia train arriving at platform level 2.
Oh, the
now,
damage.
Zodiac gets absolutely blown to shreds. Nagia is certainly going to die. Summoner teleporting in. CBL thrown under tower.
No, what are we doing?
Tom Rio is still alive. Now, both Esports have got 1 kill, but their health bars are precariously low. Aqua Prison will lock down Vit. Vit's alive, will eventually fall. Killer Queen is so low, tanking the tower.
Nugu, no.
Nugu, but he can't find the kill onto Killer Queen. And Glory just trying his best to sidestep all the skill shots, forced to flash out of the wall. And in the end, Box Esports, I think they get 2 for 2.
Does someone have circus music for me to play? What? Okay, Team Wales is going full meme in this game, and Box Esports is trying to prevent the meme from happening. This was, once again, a good counter-dive setup there from Sunmost TP coming in, Nugu also arriving. It's still a pretty even trade, honestly still in Wales' favor, even after MBE gets a few kills down here, but... Come on, guys. Let them play, please.
I need to send this to my friends and show them exactly how you play around bot lane. I would absolutely love to see this in my games.
So Nagia completely sensed it. He's inching out of his mind, but look at the health bars. This could have gone really badly too. This could have gone even worse, but the bubble is good from Zodiac. Zodiac has to die for it. Slows flashes away and stays alive with 2 HP. So, yeah, Nugu, I mean, your stone thingy does not fly past targets. I'm not sure what you are trying to aim at, flashing at the full HP target there to try and execute the one behind him, but that's
Maybe
not how the threaded
vision.
volley works. Yeah, I guess so. He was probably a bit hyped because his team was actually winning the fight there, but not the greatest flash. But still, I mean, MBE, the gold lead has shrunk from 2.5k to only 2k, so 2 more of these plays and we might be back to even.
Might be back to even. It's still a 2k goal deficit. Here comes the engage though onto Glory. No flash available for the Team Wales mid laner, but a lot of damage with the Chaos Storm. Not enough to turn the play around. And Nugu claims a very, very large shutdown.
Good one. Very nice. Oh. Okay, so the lane swap is coming in because there are more platings to mine in the top lane. There's only 1 remaining in bot lane, so they are not very interested in that tower anymore. They shift their powers into top lane. Instantly 2 tower platings taken. It's pretty good rotations from Wales. I'm a little bit confused as to why they show this kind of game with so many pre-planned strategies against MBE. I feel like it's almost a little bit of a waste of strategic depth. Maybe it's a bit of a on-stage scrim experience almost, but I feel like this could have been used against someone like Cerberus or Gum to get a big advantage there.
Enchanted Crystal Arrow onto Tom Rio, forced to flash away. Killer Queen tanking tower shot. CBL will take a very big tower shot. And maybe I think it's just how the VCS works right now. First of all, you try it in practice tour, then you try it in flex, then you try it in scrims, then you try it against Box Esports, and then you try it against an actual team.
I'm glad you added so many steps before Box Esports. That could have gone really bad. Could have been like, first you tried in solo queue, then you tried against Box, and then you tried in scrims.
Yeah.
That's probably more realistic, honestly. But
that's a bit harsh, and I'm not quite that evil yet. I leave those jokes for Carricks.
We don't actually know if Box Esports is getting scrims against VCS teams, but from the strategies they are showing on stage actually kind of tell me that they are doing all right in scrims, probably in the early game too, because they keep picking these early game and lane compositions and keep faltering later on in the game. And my read would be, I mean, this is all conjecture, right? I could be completely wrong. They could be only scrimming VCSB teams or like PCSB teams or whatever.
LJL teams.
Yeah, exactly. Nice little LJL command there, if you want a bit of insight. But the read for me is they are actually doing all right in scrims, probably not great, but all right, and are not getting to practice their mid and late game. That's where they falter on stage because they just can't practice it.
Well, Zodiac just can't practice playing the game. He lands a very good Aqua Prism, but the slows from CBL's autos are just too much to allow Fishy to escape from 3 members of Team Wells. And now with the Rift Herald dropped in the mid lane, this is going to be some nice tower plays going over to Glory. And he'll re-establish his gold lead over Nugu.
Yeah, 4-1. Victor, well on his way to the glorious evolution. One of Crincy's favorite talking points, I believe. He's already sitting on more than 200 stacks, so he's very, very close to completing that full evolution super early on in the game, which is a big power spike. And talking about Wales as a whole, look at all the platings they've taken. 3 in top lane, 2 in mid lane, 4 in bot lane. So this is one of the biggest plating games I've seen in a while.
Vic just baiting in the bottom lane, and as you mentioned, a lot of plates have been secured. First tower, though, still up for grabs. And we'll see where Team Wells want to play as Tom Rio looking for an engage, but Killer Queen is here. The bait from Team Wells, though, doesn't matter. Vic getting chunked down super low. Now it's 3v2. The wave will get the knock-up onto CBL as in comes the Nagia train. Zodiac left with nowhere to go. Doesn't have a flash. Doesn't have any way out. CBL being chunked down low. Forced to use the barrier. Flashes away.
Oh, come on, Nagia.
And in comes Killer Queen. And down goes Slows. Down goes Nugu. Team Wales with 4 for 1.
Oh, what is happening in this game? I don't understand. Do you see the flash from the gear? That was one of the chattest flashes I've ever seen. He just flashed over him onto the tower.
I'll need to rewatch that. I didn't quite catch it.
Also really like how CBL is just throwing down the gauntlet. Is the far better ADC in this lane. His ADC is just inting his face off and he's auto-attacking as if there was no tomorrow. Really nice ADC performance from CBL. I'm seeing an opening here for CBL ADC B support.
Yeah, it's a little bit like when we duo queue and I'm like, oh, can I play Senna?
I mean, yeah.
No, it's not quite like that. Our solo queue tends to be me just sprinting it down the entire way through, really nice and trying to cross the much damage. He's just done for ages. Let the fish swim.
Oh, I feel so bad for him. Honestly, half of the deaths in this game he couldn't have prevented. This one maybe a little bit more because his flash wasn't up. So yeah, I guess Ash Arrow into Victor Burst is quite dangerous for squishy little fish support, but. This game has gotten out of hand quite quickly, and this is more of the Team Wales we all expected at the start of the season, right? We looked at this roster, we saw Glory, Killer Queen paired together, and we thought, okay, this is gonna be full steam into the disaster for either team. It's just gonna be one of the two teams is gonna cry after the match. We don't know which one, but one of the two teams is gonna cry. They've been looking very much more like GAM and SGB at the start, more cautious, measured, as Nugu is gonna die again. Unfortunately, there's a lot of long-range poke and execution damage available to this Wales composition, and they found themselves another little Rift Herald.
They have, and that will be... What do people call the second Rift Herald? Kelly? No.
Shirley.
Shirley, right. Shirley will be secured. I call it Kelly. Zodiac being chunked down a bit, although heals himself up with Nami things, but Team Wells just looking incredibly confident. 7k gold ahead, as in comes Nagia Express once again. Zodiac and Slows will be able to make their way out to safety, but their tower will not be standing for much longer. Slows on the run, has to be very careful from the amount of damage coming from this Victor. Synthesis comes through, knocked up is Glory. Very nice Nara engager coming through from Sunma, and it is a shutdown onto the Victor, but will Team Wells be able to win the back end of the fight? They are in a 4v5, but they don't have health bars on their side. As you mentioned before, you'll wait a lot of long-range poke will allow Team Wells to be able to escape.
Zodiac stayed alive in the fight. That's all I care about. Nami lives matter. We do need to see this Nami survive some of the fights, because this has been a bit too much bullying for the poor support player. Even though Zodiac is not a player I particularly like, this is not okay.
I'm pretty sure this is literally cyberbullying. If you look in the dictionary, or look on Urban Dictionary, it will say what Team Wales did to Zodiac.
Slows isn't really much better off. Look at him, just all the things in front of him. Now the Victor ult comes and Slows just screaming at Tom Rio, "Leave me alone! Why are you playing against me now as well?"
And that Chaos Storm was so big for Team Wales because Box Esports could have hands down won the fight, but the Chaos Storm just zoned 2 members of Box Esports away from the fight. So while it was a 5v4 in effectiveness, it was a 3v4 with Team Wales having the number advantage.
Yeah, those long-range zoning tools are quite strong in a lot of situations. That's also why I like Talia, but unfortunately Nugu so far with a little bit of a lackluster Talia performance. I mean, his stats look fine. 2-1 and his CSing is alright. But yeah, some of the instances...
And you look at Glory.
Yeah, I mean, okay, that's not his fault though. Like, everyone has been inching into Glory, so it's not really on Nugu. That's when the rest of the team writes mid-diff and you're like... Guys,
bro, were you watching the game?
You died bot lane against my mid laner. That is not my fault. I mean, it kind of is his fault, to be honest. But
yeah.
Regardless, Nugu has been having a decent game. I think this game is actually not about the individual players much. It's just some unfortunate mishaps in the defensive plays, and honestly, just good planning from Wales. If you go back to the early game, MBE, as I said before, actually had the answers. They adapted their pathing. They came to defend against the DICE, but it just wasn't enough.
I mean, they had the answers, just that they weren't necessarily the right answers.
It's weird.
They were the right answers.
They were the right answers, but maybe their handwriting was illegible, so they didn't count anyway.
You know, as someone
that's probably it, right?
Teaching at a school, I've had to look at some exam papers or, you know, marks and mocks. And my God, some children just have, like, no desire to write. There was this one person whose handwriting was about a quarter of the height of how tall words normally are. So every single word, and it was all, like, in italics as well, or italics.
Nice.
And every single letter looked like an N, but, like, very subtly different.
Now that is probably just MBE handing in the correct answers for the exam, but the teacher can't read them. So
Aqua Prison, and this time it's Box Esports saying, "Look, whatever you guys can do, we can do the same." And Team Well say, "Sure, you get a kill, but what can you do for the rest of the fight?" And Box Esports say, "Look, we can escape." So it's just 1 kill for nothing for Box.
They get the kill, so that's a good start. I'm not entirely sure what they're going to do with this kill because they're still seeding positioning on the map. Maybe we can find Vid. Vid is in a really awkward position. He does a flash, though. So it should be fine.
Your way. It's time, I think, for a milky minigame. And that is, who is going to lose their perfect KDA first? CBL or Sunma?
Probably Sunma, but he's kind of trying to avoid all fights. So I think I'm going to go spicy and say CBL because he's going to, I don't know, flash forwards and try to show Vid that he's the better ADC and deal more damage. Because Sunma, look at Sunma. Sunma's always as far away as possible from the enemy team. I think he's figured out how to play as MBE. Just run away, don't ever fight, just go into side lanes.
He's trying to improve the macro of Box Esports, saying, look, we can split push, we can play 1-4. Teleport's now coming in from Box Esports as they are looking to contest the Baron. So many spells being thrown at Tom Rio. Then he walks into a Glory, who picks up a free kill. Nugu forced away. And I think Flash didn't actually have it off at cooldown. So it's just a kill for Team Wells and a Baron as well. They are nearly 10k gold ahead, and they probably will be 10k gold ahead after this Baron power play.
The first pick Vi, still a little bit of a strange one. I'm not entirely sure why you would try to first pick Vi here, especially with Tom Rio being your best performer so far this split. I think you should just try to give him something where he has the potential to carry later on. I think we saw him on GAM actually playing the Hecarim, if I remember correctly, in the one series he played last year, and he looked decent on the Hecarim. I would like to see some such champion, a hard carry jungle champion, just try to ignore the lanes and carry later team fights, but the Vi is not it so far.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you, you'll wait. The Vi hasn't been it, but I feel like it's wrong to pinpoint the Vi as the issue in this
It's not his fault, but it's the Vi, like the champion has not been it. I don't think Tom Rio has much, had much to do with
to
it.
escape from the play as Tom Rio will fall. Another kill for Team Wales. I feel like no one particular person has been the issue this game.
Yeah.
This has just been, you talked about Box Esports lacking macro. Team Wales saying, look, what happens if we take macro and we put it into the first 2 minutes of the game? And it's worked out fantastically for them, as a very nice enchanted crystal arrow will land, and that is a knock-up as well. Good stopwatch, but I have a feeling that Nugu is going to die as soon as he comes out of stasis, as Vit falls on the back end of the fire. I'm not quite sure what killed him, but a 1-for-1 under the bot lane inhibitor tower. Team Wales will be able to secure the tower. Now they look for the inhibitor itself.
The main issue there is that you're Vit, so you just die randomly. I mean, he's not performing super well in this game, but his damage is quite insane. Like some of the snipes, he has managed to land where like half HP on Tom Rio and stuff. CBL unfortunately is not flashing forward, so my bet is still looking a little bit spicy. Come on, CBL. Vit is dead. You need to be the ADC. You need to flash forwards into Sunma.
That blast cone nearly knocked Glory into Box Esports, although he's far enough ahead that it might have even worked out, and Box Esports might be able to catch a couple of stragglers of Team Wales. Sunma just looking for a potential engage. Oh, enchanted crystal arrow, well dodged by Slows with a relentless pursuit. As in comes Nugu, he's going to get blown to bits because the Gear Express is making its way in, tied away, finds a knock-up on the Glory. Is not in Meganar. Nugu has a fallen. Vit able to get one kill as Killer Queen falls. Slows playing aggressively.
CBL. Sunma go! Sunma go!
On the run. CBL down to half health. It's the battle of the two undefeated players in the game, but both of them will stay deathless.
Sunma didn't commit to the 1-for-1. Fortunate. Okay, we have to wait with bated breath for the next team fight to see if CBL or Sunma die first. Would be a classic if they just don't die.
Both die at the same time?
Or both die just at the same time. Yeah, that would be cool too. Maybe a dive into the fountain where Sunma trades for CBL. I could see that happening.
Whose fountain?
I don't really care. I mean, it would be kind of weird to be Wales Fountain. I'm not sure what would happen in the game for it to be Wales Fountain.
We don't know what would happen to result in that, but we sure want to see it. Another replay then of this fight, and again, it feels like Box Esports are finding these ways of picking up kills, but they always do feel to be on the back end, mainly due to wallet death.
Yeah. Their team fighting is looking alright. That's exactly why I think you should just pick late game hyper carries and try to gamble on team fights, because I feel like their team fighting, their mechanics, their individual mechanics are maybe not as good as the other teams, but serviceable. Like the biggest difference in teams for Box against any other team is macro. We have talked about this many times, and it's very clear from watching the games. So how do you make macro matter as little as possible? You pick the stupidest KISS team composition you can find, keep it simple, stupid, as the LEC likes to say, and just you just slam Cyan, Aurelion Sol, and Jinx, and just wait for 35 minutes and win team fights.
Jinx or Zeri?
No, Jinx. Zeri is too hard to play. Slows is not good enough to play Zeri.
Wow, that's a scathing comment your way.
No. Zeri is insanely hard to play. Have you tried playing Zeri?
No, I agree on that, but you just being like, yeah, sorry, Slows, you're not allowed to play. To be fair, do you remember good old Harvey and his packs?
I remember many bad VCS players. You do not even know what bad VCS players are unless you have seen Neven. Yikes.
I've not even heard of. I feel like I've seen that name being mentioned in VCS Discord.
He's legendary. You can you can go to the Discord and type in !Neven and watch him fight Baron very unsuccessfully.
Right,
that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah,
after this game.
you have to see that. It's a legendary clip. Another one is !Palette for another classic. We've seen some in.
I know that one. That's where Palette dies to stop away from crashing under the tower.
Yes, it's the most Hillsong play you've ever seen, and it's not coming from Hillsong. It's amazing.
I mean, did it stop the wave from crashing under tower?
He did, yeah. He gave up 300 gold, so I'm not sure if it was worth it.
But he didn't die. It was an execute, wasn't it?
He did die.
Oh, God. Palette. VCS champion as well.
Also, I really like to see the sign. Look at the sign here. 133 CS, 2, 1, and 4, and he has a shutdown.
Yep. He's been flame horizon by Sunman.
He has a shutdown more than 100 CS down. Nice.
A little bit late on the teleport from Sunma himself, as the Baron has already been secured by Team Wales, and while Box Esports are mid, Wales are going to be heading top lane with a Baron, and I'm going to be honest, Box Esports, I don't think you want to be going for a base race against Baron-empowered Team Wales with Glory, whose one attack will do about a quarter of a tower's health bar, and that is the inhibitor tower down. That is the inhibitor down as well, and Team Wales might even look to end this game right here.
Oh, CBL had to flash. Okay, CBL no flash. Look at CBL. He could be the target. Ow.
No Sunma, though, in the fight. Had to back because of the Enchanted Crystal Arrow thrown out by CBL. And for the side of MBE, one already down. Summer does now arrive to the plate. One Nexus Tower has fallen, and Team Wales are showing no signs of slowing down. Summer just waiting to get into Mega Gnar form. Final Nexus Tower back. Ingo Summer. He doesn't find anyone with an Gnar ult. And that is one big tool now no longer available for the side of Box Esports. Do Wales wait for their next wave, or do they keep on pushing while they've got a teleport from Nagia? And Team Wales are just going to keep on pushing in. Enchanted Crystal Arrow won't land onto anyone, but down goes the final Nexus Tower. And surely down will go the Nexus. Vit will fall, and I guess both CBL and Sunma will stay deathless as Team Wales take game one.
What a stupid game. It was very fun, though.